Frazier. Commissioner Shepherd.
Here.
Commissioner Saucier.
Here.
And Chairman Brown.
Present. Pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The approval of minutes for the July 10th, 2024 meeting, those will be tabled. Approval of requisitions as reported by the treasurer. Do we have a motion for the approval of the requisitions?
Yes, motion to approve, July requisitions. Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Shepherd.
Yes.
Commissioner Saucier.
Yes.
Chairman Brown.
Yes. All right, public comment. General fire service matters. The public comment portion of this meeting is to allow the public to bring to the board's attention every pertinent topic. The board will respect the public's time by refraining from any comments until the speaker is finished. It should be further noted that the public comment portion of the meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has a question, they seek answers to, and a point can be made to the appropriate member. We ask that the public state their full name and address for the record. Anybody who has a comment, please come up to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. Louis Lopez from 98 Levels Drive. I haven't seen any agenda item, but I do have two questions. First question is, what's the status of the forever member? I would like to know that.
It's being discussed under the building ground.
Okay. Does anybody remember the 2016 December meetings?
No.
That's the meeting when they awarded, I think, $9.6 million to create?
If you say so.
I think, am I right or am I wrong?
It's 9 years ago, I'm not sure.
Okay, that's my only two questions, and thank you for having me as a guest.
Maureen Taylor Ford, 117 Grand Street. I'm just curious, I think Lee, you had said earlier this year that they had did something where they went around to the different towns, the different houses, they gave out fire alarms or whatever. Do you also give out carbon monoxide detectors? And do you even ask people if they have, I don't know if this is, maybe I'm stretching here, but if you're going to give smoke alarms, do you ask people if they have fire extinguishers? Do you guys do a complimentary check on any of the fire extinguishers? That people, or even ask them? I'm just curious.
Oh, no, I'll be more than welcome.
Just curious.
Do you mind if I field this? No, this was a joint effort with the American Red Cross, and it's called Sound the Alarm. So they give out smoke. They give out smoke detectors, and that was free of cost to the residents of Mount Holly, and we installed a bunch throughout the township. It was an all-day process. We had the Red Cross down here all day. But that is a good thing. I'm looking for more resources for the carbon monoxide side, and Red Cross, who I stay in contact with, is actually working on the program to go along with Sound the Alarm, where they're gonna be combo detectors. It's not in fruition yet, because it's a very pricey bill just to give those out. But yes, we're definitely working with that. The Red Cross has been great to Mount Holly Township, and we have a great partnership, and we look to move forward with them, accordingly.
So would they, as also a complimentary, maybe because this is the fire department, would they do something similar to that with the fire extinguisher? So my niece told me, I guess you guys came out there, you did canvas, knocked on the doors, you actually went into her home, installed the fire, the smoke alarm.
Correct.
So she just happened to tell me this today, and I just said, well, I'm curious, did they ask you about a fire extinguisher? She said no. I said, well, did they have anything? She said no. So that was
No, there was no fire extinguisher. It was literally
So can that
a
be something
truckload
that
of
be
fire alarm.
implemented in the future? If you're going to.
I could look into it. I can't give you a definite answer at this time.
I appreciate it.
No,
It just
definitely.
seems like, that's just a little bit, 25%, maybe go a little bit further. If you're already foot traffic in, why not ask? There are a lot of elders that don't even remember how to use a fire extinguisher.
Correct.
And then the older ones, they are a little bit harder to manipulate. So, just curious.
I like it, it's food for thought, and we can sit down and talk about that. I appreciate it.
All right. and the
That's
other
gonna be great.
question is-
Maybe we can come up with something.
I appreciate it, Lee. I'm all for it.
Yes.
Um,
You and I as well.
Have we reconsidered anything about, using this facility for the public? Have we reconsidered anything about that to bring income to the community? And also, what about the summer recreation program? So it's bonded through Burlington, and if this building is not, if you're using it as a museum, is that gonna be implemented through the summer recreation program as a fire safety, education thing, that maybe the new recreation director could utilize that to also reinforce whatever's going on within the school system, fire safety wise? We are a volunteer fire department, we do rely on West Hampton. I mean, how many houses already burned down in the last like 6-7 months, come on. So, just a little bit stretch, if we are using that as a museum, why can't we extend that courtesy to the summer recreation to educate our youth, okay?
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Anybody else in public?
Jeff Evermeyer, 203 Broad Street. I'm curious, we need to do something about the sound system so people can hear in all the meetings that we have in this building. And we spent almost $6 million or whatever we spent on this firehouse, and we can't afford to put a sound system in here so all the residents can hear.
Sound system's about $60,000. We didn't have that in our budget.
Okay.
What was the answer? We didn't hear.
The sound system cost about $60,000. That wasn't available in the budget.
I thought that was in the motion.
Yes, maybe.
For a sound system.
That is correct.
Okay, that sounds, I'm sure there's other avenues besides that to figure out how to solve this problem. Another thing, we've had a couple fires in Mount Holly, and I realize that Mount Holly has volunteer firefighters. I'm curious, it seems like a lot of other fire trucks are riding around our town with their sirens and lights on. Whenever there's a fire in Mount Holly, do we notify Mount Holly Fire Department first?
There's a mutual aid agreement with surrounding towns when a fire occurs.
So,
Every town responds to it.
okay.
And I can elaborate a little
Go ahead.
bit more. Like even with our mutual aid agreement in our town, you gotta understand that the career towns that surround us have mutual aid agreements with other towns, and Mount Holly's the fastest avenue to their town. So they have to cut through our town, so they're not always coming to us, but sometimes they are. But they literally they respond from all different towns, and Chief Mason can attest to this. Like West Hampton or Mount Laurel, they're all initial dispatch to either East Hampton or Lumberton or Hainesport. So if West Hampton's coming through town, they are gonna cut through our town. We are the center.
So if we have a fire in Mount Holly, we should, all our fire companies, West Hampton shows up, Mount Laurel shows up in
Alright,
Mount Holly.
I'll answer the
Yeah,
question.
he's the chief.
You have two parts to this. There's mutual aid and there's automatic aid.
Okay.
Automatic aid is what is set up for structural responses. That structural response is known as what's called the RB Task Force. That incorporates Mount Holly, West Hampton, East Hampton, Lumberton, and then part of that was with the county, they wanted RIT teams on the initial dispatch, so our RIT team comes out of Southampton. That is for all structural fires, that's an automatic aid, you get that automatic off the dispatch. If I have a brush fire that we do not get out for whatever reason, and they dispatch the next in, that is mutual aid. So I want everybody to be clear that that's the difference. Other towns have the same thing, so again, like Director Eckert said, a lot of times Lumberton is now using West Hampton as well. They drive down through High Street because it's the fastest avenue to get to some of the stuff. West Hampton EMS now covers all of the EMS calls in East Hampton. Their fire truck responds to East Hampton for certain incidents. As everybody knows, part of Mount Holly borders East Hampton over off of the Wood Lane Road area, and part of that where it comes together. There's parts of Mount Holly that they have to go through in order to get to East Hampton. So if you hear it, doesn't necessarily, like you said, it always means that they're coming to our town. Do they come to our town? Yes. Our volunteers work during the day. They don't receive any compensation from the fire district other than the incentive.
I'm fully behind our
We
volunteers.
are trying to fix that problem. It's been getting better at night. We do struggle during the daytime. There is a 5-year plan that was put together by myself that I had a meeting with the state, and anybody that would like to see it, I have it. You're more than welcome to a copy of it. And it kind of lays out what our projected goals are for the next 5 years and how we can fix this problem. As far as, you know, the sirens, like I said, our guys try to get out as much as they can. It's something that we were, you know, in talks with West Hampton, the state kind of forced our hand on it at one point, and we had to have fire response. It's my job as the fire chief. I'm held liable for every one of the taxpayers. I needed to make sure that a fire truck showed up to your residence, and that was the best option that was available at the time. So that's where we stand with that. But just so everybody knows, there's two different parts of that. There's an automatic aid and there's a mutual aid. The automatic aid, you don't control. You get what's already on there. So that's kind of the difference there.
Response grids is key.
Yeah, just curious because I didn't get any answers.
And if anybody has any questions, feel free to email me. My email is tmason@mounthollyfire.org, and I can always shoot you an email back in reference to any kind of response stuff, grid stuff. If you want to come down and have a meeting with me, I'm more than welcome to meet with you, kind of explain to you how how it goes, so everybody knows, because maybe the public's not up to snuff on how the
Well, I
response
never
stuff
had a
goes.
hard time with volunteers and everything involved.
It's nationwide, unfortunately.
There's a problem with that, but I was just curious because I didn't seem like,
Yeah.
there were a couple of fires I wasn't sure why. I didn't see them other people.
Most of the stuff, and I don't hide the fact that, like I said, during the day when our volunteers are at work,
Oh, yeah, you're working.
it's so hard, and that's why we put into play certain things to guarantee that the public and that our taxpayers get some kind of fire response to protect their home.
Okay. And then who'd be in charge of each, like if there's a fire, doesn't, whoever gets there first?
It's whoever the first arriving officer is establishes the incident command.
Okay.
A lot of times, you know, when I come in, if they've gotten there before me, sometimes they'll do what we call a transfer of command. They'll transfer it back to the local guy. Most of the time, I just let them run with it and assist them in any matter they need, so that we don't disrupt the service.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, right out to the public.
So I have two issues tonight. One is,
Can I give you your name and address?
oh, sorry, Christina Johnson, and I'm a lifetime member here. So question for you, bills, how are they paid? Are they paid as soon as they get approved, as soon as they're submitted?
They get paid as they're approved by the board.
What's that?
As they're approved by the board tonight, they get paid.
Okay, and that's every month after the meeting, or during the meetings, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so there was a bill submitted in May that probably, I don't know if it made the May meeting, although, yeah, it probably did not make the May meeting, but it should have been approved in June. Today is August 7th, and it's still not been paid.
You have to speak to
So
the fire
can we
director.
not have visibility on what bills are being approved and what bills are there to be paid?
What bill is it?
What's that?
What bill is it?
It's for the Acme Lingo flag company, the $600 and some flag you got to hang between the fire trucks, not been paid. Was it approved?
They never signed the paperwork to return it to receive.
They didn't receive that. I talked to them, they did not receive it.
Yeah, there's no, so how it works is we have to send them a voucher, just
Yeah,
basically stating what their invoice was.
yeah.
And then they have to send that copy back to us, it's just stating that, yes, we did this job, it was completed, but we haven't received one back.
They didn't get it.
Well, I can send another one. I can more than
If you
happy.
would do that.
Yeah, the check's been,
The checks, yeah, the checks in
the
the
check's
file.
been there for months.
Okay,
And-
well, we didn't know that, and that's why I'm saying, can we have visibility on what bills are approved? So like if something comes in like this, we can say, hey, what, we can see that it was approved. I mean, we should have visibility on what you're paying. The members should have visibility on what's being paid. I'm not talking about personal wages or anything like that. I'm just talking about simple bills you're paying for the firehouse. So every meeting I've ever been at for other government agencies, we have visibility on bills. Can we have that? I notice there's no agendas either tonight, so if that
There's
can
agendas
be,
up front.
what's that?
There's agendas up front.
Well, they're usually in the back, so we didn't know to come up front to get them, thank you, Tommy. So if we could get those bills like attached to the agendas, that would be very helpful, right? The next thing I have, I really am not addressing you, I'm gonna address the room if you don't mind, okay? So I'm not trying to be rude when I turn my back on you, all right? To all of you residents, voters, and taxpayers, there's an election coming up for both the Township Council and also the Board of Fire Commissioners. I would like to urge you all to vote, but before doing so, please take a good look at the candidates and who is backing them, where they come from. Please vote for fire commissioners who actually care about all members and are not using the Board of Fire Commissioners. Vote for
I'm sorry, but this is not appropriate, like, if you're supposed to address the board, this is not.
I can address you and read this, sure.
I mean,
As long
go
as
right
they can
ahead.
hear me, that's fine.
If you'd like to go out and campaign, you should knock on doors.
Okay, vote for fire commissioner members that are firemen, past or present, or come from volunteer fireman households. Know how dedicated and proud firemen are to their firehouse. Right now, the current fire commissioners have not given lifetime members keys to the firehouse. Lifetime members who have served Mount Holly residences and businesses for 50+ years, who always showed up to fight fires in this town, morning or night. So again, I urge you to look at the candidates before you vote, and vote for fire commissioners who have the real interest of the firehouse and take care of all members active in lifetime, and candidates who deserve to be elected. Thanks.
Mrs. Johnson, real quick, about the bills, I am the treasurer. I am disappointed you didn't email me. We've been emailing back and forth. If you ever have another problem with the bill and you would like to talk to me about it and you have a copy, please reach out to me. You have my email and my phone number, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it.
Yeah, and if I would have known you were, then I would have contacted you on that.
I gave you my stuff so you can contact me about anything.
Great, thank you.
Excuse me, where are the agendas at? You have them there in front of you?
Is there any other public comments?
No. You have them here in front of you? Okay, so I'm just confused, because all the meetings that I've been coming to, they're in the back. So I'm not certain why they're sitting right there next to you.
Well, it's clearly just a mistake
Thank you.
today.
Very well. Anybody else need one?
Lauren Shepherd, 29 Midway Street. I just wanted to respectfully suggest to the board that you inquire of our township that they find an alternative to a total sound system for this room. I'm sure that there are many portable systems that can be used in multiple locations. I know at times we were over in the sewer authority for meetings and there was difficulty hearing. There must be, if you could please check out other alternatives than a total sound system of $60,000, that it could be used in multiple locations throughout the township and benefit all of the people of Mount Holly.
Thank you. Please email us with that suggestion so it can be followed through.
I will do that.
Right.
The sound system, just so everybody knows. It's not that we're not gonna put the sound system in. The option was too much at the time. They needed to spend the money other places to get the building open. We have met with our IT guy. We are looking at other options because I am in the process of trying to register this facility with the state as a actual training facility so that we can receive credits for our fire certificates and all of our incident command stuff. But we have to be registered with the division. Part of that registration is it has to have a projector and a sound screen and all that. So we're working with the IT guy for this upcoming budget to get some kind of sound system here that may not be elaborate as $80,000 or $60,000, but will give us the sound that we need to at least hold public meetings and training sessions. So if everybody can just be patient, I'll keep you abreast of what, we come along with the IT guy when we figure it out. But I assure you it is being worked on, okay? Again, if you have any concerns, feel free to email me. It's part of the stuff that I'm working on with the State Division of Fire Safety as well.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Any other comments from the public, please?
Pierre Ford, 117 Branch Street. I think the reason why everybody is stressing out on the sound system, I think we're patient for it to get it. We just need more voice so that we can hear you. Okay. And the young lady who said something about voting. I've been to these meetings before. This is the third time that she's done that. And she's been very proper when she asked if she could turn herself around so then she could present the information to her. Now all of a sudden it's a problem.
Nobody said she wasn't disrespectful. This is just not the forum for that to be taking place. electioneering shouldn't be happening in the public.
Okay, so then, the first time that she did it, it should have been said. Because this is the third time that she's done it.
I've been here, I've never heard her talk about voting before. At the town council meeting.
Okay.
It's the only meeting I'm a chair of, so it's the only time I can speak about it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Anybody else in public, please? Seeing no further public comment, we will close the public portion. Reports from the fire personnel. Chief's report. Tommy, anything for us?
Just pushing away with the duty crew program. Obviously, you see the guys are here tonight for their scheduled duty crews. I'm still working on the daytime stuff. In the process of working with the director for the upcoming budget and getting some of the, testing and stuff done that needs to be done for the, NFPA season.
Thanks, sir. You want to get the fire officials report while you're there?
The fire officials report, we're gonna table till next month. I was in a conference before I came down with BSP. There's a configuration software when they rebooted everything when we made the change. And he's working on it tonight to try to get it resolved. It keeps giving us a, error code and pushes us out of the system, doesn't allow us to go through and print anything. So he said he would email me later tonight and may have to go back into a conference call when he's done.
No problem. Do we have a chief apparatus report or is that
Right now, everything is still in operating condition.
operating? All right. Committee reports. We got buildings and grounds committee. Keys for lifetime members.
Yeah, I'd like to turn the keys for lifetime members over to, our chief, Tommy Mason.
All right, so keys for lifetime members. We are gonna go ahead and issue keys as we resolve some of the matters that we told you was present. I will be available next Monday. Any lifetime member that needs a key that is able to come in, please come in. I'll be here at 6 o'clock. We'll issue your key, you'll sign for it, and then we'll write your key fob number down so that we can get it over to the IT guy so you can turn the right key on and give you the accesses that you need. If you're not able to make it, or you're ill or whatever, and you wanna reschedule, that's fine. Just shoot me an email or a phone call. All my information is on the website, and we'll work with you to get you a key. Once everybody's keys are handed out and we get the form signed, we'll go ahead and get them turned on, and you'll have your access.
What's considered a lifetime?
So lifetime members are, some of our members that have been here for 40, we have some members that've been here 50, 60 years. They've basically done, we're required by state to do 7 years at 60%. We become exempt from, when we get death benefits from the state. Anybody that is, done their time, that's retired, that is just, wants to come down and hang out, they're considered a retired or life member. So that's their status. Some of these guys have belonged to fire companies for 25, some have belonged for 35, 40, and 50 years. I've personally been here 27. We have a couple in the room that's probably got 40 plus years with their company. They've done their time. A couple of them are past chiefs. Some of them were chief when I started. That's how long this goes back. So that's just the classification they're given because they're basically like when you work at your job. You're retired, but you still hold your status with that company. Active members are guys like myself and some of the firemen you see at the front desk. We're still out on the street, we're still putting in the time, we're still answering the calls, so we're active members. And then you have associate members, which we don't have in the department currently, but associate members in some organizations are members that join and just help out with like special events and things in that nature. So when we say lifetime, we're retired members, we're referring to the guys that have put in their 40, 50 years and have retired since to be with their family, but still want to come down and hang out. So that's what we mean by that.
And they
Thank you
deserve,
for the definition.
and they deserve that.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm glad we came to a resolution for that. Chief Mason's done a great job and everything with the board and everything. It's well deserved.
Thank you. No,
President Paulson, you got it? Apparatus and equipment, not present today. Planning and services, I don't believe we have anything. Budget and finance.
We paid our quarterly taxes. Other than that, we did our audit presentation last month. So that's about it for finance and.
Alright, I don't believe we have any old business, new business? Okay.
is like, we're making progress. Chief Mason hit a lot of nails on the head for me, but we're still working on some IT issues and a couple minor construction issues that we're dealing with the Ogren and the contractors that we're trying to finalize. But other than that, we're status quo, and the other things are personnel, which if there's gonna be a closed session, we'll talk about there.
You need a closed session?
No, not personal.
No? So let's switch the board. Anything else on the board?
Just wanna thank you all for coming and being patient when it came to the key issue. And that's all I have.
Oh, yeah, and patience with my children being here.
Wait, your kids?
Think about it.
They're your kids.
All right, motion to adjourn.